What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Dan E Show. I'm your host, Daniel Cody, and this show is where I give commentary, opinions, and reviews on all things wrestling. Before I get started, I want to encourage everyone to like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you for your views. It means a lot to me and my channel. I really appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get started with some exciting news. It was recently announced on the bump that WWE female wrestling legend, make sure this thing is good. Yeah, it's good. WWE female wrestling legend Molly Holly is now a WWE Hall of Famer for the class of 2021. I think it is well deserved. I think it is extremely awesome. She has paved the way for so many women like the ones in this era right now, and I'm going to explain why in just a second. You see, when I first heard the news, I thought to myself, this is so great, this is so awesome. And I began to think on her career, and I began to think to myself, she would have fit in the women's revolution era very well. She would have been so great with the Sasha Banks and the Baileys. Her and Bailey, before Bailey cut her hair and started looking like Raven from Teen Titans, her and Bailey would have made an excellent tag team, considering that they're both pure wrestler vibes and good role models. That was until Bailey became the Raven from Teen Titans lookalike. However, while she would have done so well in this era, she was well needed during the late Attitude and early Ruthless Aggression era. She came on the scene in the summer of 2021 during 2001 during the WWF versus ECW and WCW invasion. That was 20 years ago. Man, time flies. However, after losing the Mighty Molly angle, which she had with Hurricane Helms, who announced her as the Hall of Fame inductee this year, she just became Molly Holly. And WWE turned her into a villain, but she was still well needed. And the reason she was well needed was because she wrestled during a time where women were stereotyped as having to look provocative, having to show a little skin, having to have a certain shape, or having to have the certain looks and certain eyes, or whatever, etc. And she was one of the few women that said within herself, I am going to rely on my gifts and not my goods to get ahead. And she wasn't the only one. Jazz, of course, much more aggressive, but also one of them. And make no mistake about it, Trish Stratus, highly talented. Lita, everyone's favorite, especially if you're a heavy metal fan. Who else? Victoria, etc. A lot of great wrestlers from both Attitude and Ruthless Aggression years. But the thing was, those were times where people wrestled in swimming trunks and bathing suits, and you had to look good in a bikini, and they had a bunch of lingerie and bikini contests. We can't forget what happened at Taboo Tuesday. I'm not going to discuss it, but y'all know what I mean. Taboo Tuesday 2004. Either way, she was one of the few women that said, hey, I'm going to let my gift speak for me. And you didn't see that a lot. A lot of them were very talented, but a lot of them also, with the exception of Lita didn't do it too much until she met Edge. But either way, they were during a time, this was during the time where women had to look a certain way. And even Michael Cole said that she fought a lot of stereotypes. And she was well needed for her time because somebody had to do it right. And I find it kind of fascinating because WWE decided that because she was the purest, and she was a clean woman, and she was the woman that showed no skin. That, hey, let's make her a goody two shoe heel that nobody likes, because nobody likes a holier than thou person, and she's not a holier than thou person, but because she's not doing what we consider is popular, let's make her a heel for it. And it did work for her, but I don't think making her a, a face would hurt her. I don't think that would have hurt, but it shows where WWE was at the time. And I was a huge WWE fan coming up, still am. And WWE was not soft, as The Undertaker said, but it was just so different back then. And we needed that. We needed someone to say, hey, let me use my talent, and I'm not going to show skin. And if that means I'm going to have to be unpopular, then so be it. It's going to pay off in the long run, and indeed it has. She has earned great respect, and looking back, there are a lot of people who are going to thank her for that moment, to say, hey, thank you for showing that you don't have to act super provocative to get attention. Just use your skills. And that paved the way for what we're seeing right now, which is people using their skills and not just being worthy because of their looks, their shapes, and their sizes. So Molly, much respect to her. I applaud the fact that she is going to be a Hall of Famer this year. She is well needed. And on a fun and funny note, I will say this: she would have made an excellent member of the Right to Censor. She would have did better than Ivory. Ivory was good, but Molly would have did better because she means it. And when you have somebody who means it, it fits better. And it is no surprise to anyone that Molly Holly shares the same faith as Shawn Michaels, Ted DiBiase, Sting, Michelle McCool, and The Undertaker. Yes, The Undertaker is born again. Even dark souls can be saved. Either way, bottom line, I'm very happy for Molly Holly. She deserves it, and I so respect what she did during her time. She was well needed. They tried to make a villain out of her, and yes, she did cheat a few times, especially at the Survivor Series 2003 when she defeated Lita with underhanded tactics. But hey, either way, it's good to have somebody like her in the Hall of Fame, and it was rather appropriate that it was announced in the month of March, which is known as Women's Month, Women's History Month. So again, I can't stress it enough how happy I am for her, how much I think she deserves this so much. Again, congratulations. Thank you for being a part of that era. And I know there are a lot of women who appreciate her for being herself and showing, hey, this is me. And if it's not popular, then so be it. But it's me. Take it or leave it. And if you don't like it, I got two words for you: Molly Holly. Just kidding, but congratulations again. I'm so happy for her. I think it's well deserved. And that's all for today. I'll see you again on another episode of the Dan E Show. Same Dan E time, same Dan E channel. Peace.